G'day guys, this is Rob from Troutlore.com.au and today we'll be tying up the pheasant tail nymph. We start with a Daiichi 1560 wet or nymph hook, this time in a size 14 as that's what I've been tying all day for a customer. And to that hook we come in with Vivus 6/0 thread in brown, starting just behind the eye, binding that thread on, trimming the excess, then bringing thread wraps right back to the start of the bend in the hook. Then we take UTC copper wire, brassy size, and we tie that in from the back of the hook on the near side of the hook shank, bringing threads forward and then threads back again, right back to the bend of the hook, leaving the wire hanging down on the near side of the hook shank. The next step is to take a pheasant tail feather, where this fly takes its name from, peeling away 5 or 6 fibres, straightening them out perpendicular to the stem, break them off. This way it'll keep the tips of the fibres all aligned. We take those fibres, lay them over the top of the hook shank with approximately a half a hook shank's length extending beyond the bend. We tie this in at the rear, and this will make up 1/3 of the length of the fly. 2 or 3 wraps over the feathers, peel them back, a couple of wraps underneath, then bring the thread forward about halfway along the hook shank. Now wrapping to the rear of the hook and underneath, we bring these fibres around the hook shank in overlapping wraps so that we fully cover the hook shank and build up a nice textured body. Once we get just past the halfway mark, we can tie that off, a couple of loops over the top, a couple in front, one more behind, and then trim the excess. Now we take the copper wire which is hanging in front, ensure to pull our tail up to ensure it's straight, and we now wrap the copper wire in the opposite direction to the pheasant tail fibres. Nice evenly spaced wraps. This not only gives us a nice segmented look to the rib with the ribbing, but it also binds those pheasant tail feathers in place. Now wrap the thread around the wire, reversing the direction, and around the wire again, bring it back to the same direction to bind that in place, and we're able to helicopter the thread to break it off. This ensures a nice close break off without any excess sticking out. Now we go back to our pheasant tails again, this time taking about twice as many fibres, upwards of about 10, straightening them out and breaking them off the stem. With those fibres aligned, we bring them together and place them again over the top so that they extend to the same distance as the tail. Then with a gentle pinch wrap, tie these in and bring our thread back to about the halfway mark of the shank. Then bring the thread forward and trim off the excess. Now we take some Peacock Herl. This is the material we're going to use for the thorax and the final material that is used in this fly. We only need just a single strand from that, trimming off the very tip to remove any brittle sections, tying that in on the near side just behind the hook eye, bringing the thread forward. And we're now able to wrap the thorax, starting at the rear and working our way forward. I don't mind actually going backwards and forwards over this a few times just to thicken it up, and finish with the Peacock Herl at the front, just behind the eye of the hook. We tie that off and trim the excess. Now to create the wing casing, we take the pheasant tail fibres and pull them forward over the eye of the hook, holding them down on top, and then with just a couple of loose wraps, bind them in place. Then, placing our thumb at the eye of the hook, we slowly force those fibres back and work them around the shank. Then we can come in with our thumb and forefinger and hold them back. This allows us to tie off with a few thread wraps and a half hitch to bind it into place. Once this is done, we can space out those fibres, making sure that they're even on either side of the body. Then a simple whip finish to complete. Trim off the thread. Finally, the trusty Loon hardhead cement. We don't need a lot of this. We're going to use a bit on the end of a bodkin to simply bind the thread and form a small head on either side. A little extra can be applied on the very top just to strengthen the wing case. And there you have it, the classic nymph pattern, the pheasant tail or PT nymph. Very, very simple to tie, very few materials needed, and very easy to catch fish with. Thanks for watching. All the materials are available at www.troutlore.com.au. More videos to come in the future. Good luck on the water.